I'm not a big fan of Mami. Let me rephrase that a bit. I like what she does for the story and find her compelling in that regard, but the character archetype of Ara energy, but actually she's really sad and complex, just doesn't do anything for me. I find what happens to her character oddly predictable, though half of me wants to believe that's the point. Granted, I came into this series knowing what would happen to her, but still. From her entrance in the Witch's Labyrinth during episode 1, Mami is clearly someone who's not putting all of her cards forward. More than anyone else thus far. Yeah, even Homura. She has something she wants to see happen and is willing to deceive for it. When talks about magical girl duties are had, Sayaka and Madoka are framed in the light, while Mami is framed in the dark. The details she's giving about how Mahou Shoujo must fight witches forever are the truth to her credit, but the way she's delivering them is incessantly skewed towards these two becoming magical girls. She knows what this job actually entails. Eternal suffering and all that wacky stuff. And while these two are clueless, being framed in the dark and all, Mami sees a clear path to her goal. Her being basked in light is proof of her knowledge on the subject, but also that what she wants is coming into reach. She seeks companionship on the lonely path that is being what she is now. Some friends who she can talk to and relay her interests to. If these two become like her, then, well, her hierarchy of needs are met, baby. Simple, right? She serves the purpose of getting across what it means to be a Mahou Shoujo, that your life will be hunting witches. No time for Chad housewife BFs, just witches. Death is a real possibility in this life, but there are positives. You get magic and lifelong friends. Most importantly, a wish. Mami is kinda like Kyubey in that way. A gentler version, but nonetheless, she does push for them to make that wish as much as she possibly can. The show handles its exposition scenes really well. A lesser work would simply pop these three in a diner while Mami explained how witches feed off of despair and lead people to suicide. But Madoka takes the best approach any exposition scene could, with the details being tied with a visual representation of the very thing being described. This brings the dialogue from a tedious slog before we get to more good stuff, to something interactive. The brain naturally connects the dots from Mami's explanation to that of the businesswoman climbing the building. The shot of her shoes alone on the rooftop is all that's needed for telling us that she's about to jump off due to the witch's kiss on her neck. Mami's magic as well, the use of not modern rifles but flintlock ones, is good for conveying that she's an old-timey kind of magical gal, the stereotypical one, who, through her actions, will spark hope in those around her. If we consider the rest of Madoka to be a powder keg, Mami is the one that lights the fuse. Fitting that her magic revolves around guns that function similarly. It's her actions and magical prowess that are the catalyst for what will become Madoka's guiding light, a drive that will continue to be there for the rest of the show. So, while I don't gel with her character, I do really appreciate what she does for the story. It's a slanted perspective, but she does serve the counter-argument for why becoming a Mahou Shoujo isn't an inherently bad thing. Episodes 2 and 3 carry this overall jovial feel for the most part. Sayaka and Madoka mostly think about what wishes they could possibly make, and the Magical Girl segments, though still containing tension, focus more on how cool and inspirational Mami is. It's no coincidence that the actual ending theme hasn't been introduced yet. The tone is present, but Madoka is intent on exploring the positives before it hits you with that punch of reality. To clarify, the tone hasn't changed much from episode 1, and Homura's warnings are ever present. It's then that I say that Mami's death isn't this big oh my god moment. This was the natural conclusion for her character arc. Furthermore, even within the genre, this isn't a big subversion. Mahou Shoujo stories taking a dark turn has been a thing since pretty much the genre's inception. To take an example I myself hold dear, Prisma Ilia has been doing the same type of storytelling with death at the center of things since 2007. way before Madoka was even a twinkle in Urabuchi's eye. Being a magical girl isn't this fun experience where everything somehow works out. It's a terrible fate, and it's expected for it to be treated as such. If your only exposure to the genre was the 90s Sailor Moon dub, then I guess I can understand the shock, but to have Mami achieve any kind of happy ending would defeat the purpose of what this show is trying to convey, that being that you have to fight for any kind of happy ending against this oppressive tide of negativity. Madoka handles the concepts masterfully, but just like Eva with the mecha genre, it's no pioneer in what it does. It just does those things exceedingly well. For example, Mami pushes the agenda so hard because she's alone, worried she'll die by herself, forgotten. In a sick, twisted way, she got her wish granted. Madoka and Sayaka will certainly never forget Mami. I don't know about you, but that's a good send-off for a character we'd only gotten to know an episode ago. This is what I love about Madoka. Through an admittedly obvious death, it reveals that these wishes will always lead to demise if you don't think them through. To be fair though, Mami didn't exactly have time to think. Kinda messed up for Kyubey not to really give her a say in the matter. 10 points into the "wait, I think this thing is evil" category. Rest in peace, Mami. I didn't care too much for you, but I appreciate what you did. Don't appreciate that this was suddenly the point where everyone now thought, oh my god, this show is so deep and dark. Though, as I established in the last part, Madoka has been that way from the first 3 minutes, and even then, it was no pioneer. That's it for me though. This video and the next were originally going to be one thing, but I kinda got lost in the sauce for what's up next. Mami fans, come at me. I am ready. Kyoko is best girl, and this is my hill to die on. Funny, I wonder what the next video is going to be about. Speaking of which, is it just me, or did this video feel kind of short? Continued in part 3. Patreon.com/sleepy_crest if you want your name at the end of the video. Pledge high enough and I'll make you one of these fucking things. A video about whatever topic. I can't promise I'll know much about it, but that video will be made. Also, there's a podcast that uploads irregularly. Shilling done. Bye bye.